A Wednesday morning. It is 8:01 Wednesday, January 11th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Welcome to Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather and sometimes in the periphery of weather, and hopefully get your day started off with a smile, get you updated, educated, and you never know when the train goes off the tracks. It is already a busy morning. The top two things that we are monitoring here on Coffee Talk, if you haven't heard, there is a nationwide ground stop for at least the next hour's time, though there are some indications that it may go beyond that. We'll take a look at things over at Orlando International Airport and beyond. Plus, we are enjoying beautiful weather, at least here locally. We'll be discussing that and a big chill coming right around the corner. Boy, it is a busy start. But let's start with that ground stop. Essentially, and if you're not familiar, I learned to fly years and years ago. I haven't flown in a bit, but at least I've got a little bit of a working knowledge. The Nodem system, which used to be called the Notice to Airmen system, has gone down. Now it is referred to as the Notice to Air Mission Status system. They made it more inclusive. So right now, this number is somewhat inaccurate because those on-time flights are just because the airline has not delayed it yet. But those numbers are going to continue to rise because there's no departures happening for the next hour time. And the official Airspace Status Board actually says that the ground stop is not in effect until 9 o'clock, but rather 9:30. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But at any rate, things are an absolute mess at Orlando International Airport. It's not the weather, it's the airspace system status. So what is a NOTAM? Before we get into anything more, what is a NOTAM? It used to be called Notice to Airmen. Now it's the Notice to Air Mission Status. Essentially, when you go to fly, all right, hey, you and I are going to go for a flight. Check the weather, and you check your NOTAMs. Literally at every airport that I've ever flown through at the FBO, there's a sign, check your NOTAMs. And what it is it lets you know some basic things like, this taxiway is shut down for construction. This runway is shut down for construction. I can recall when I was planning on coming to a wedding from South Florida, and I was going to fly to New Smyrna Beach Airport. I was going to fly to Daytona Beach Airport, and the NOTAM was posted. I was all set, and as I was checking my NOTAMs, Daytona Beach Airport was closed because of air show. Well, before I got off the ground, I realized, I guess I'm not going to Daytona, and I had to readjust my flight to go to New Smyrna. So it gives you that kind of information. There's also situations where your NOTAM will let you know if there's equipment outages, such as an instrument approach. I can recall there was a foggy day. I was flying to North County Airport in Palm Beach County, and right as I was about to take off, I went, checked the NOTAMs. It was foggy down there. I was expecting an instrument approach on one of the runways, but there had been a lightning strike the day before, and a lightning strike took a chunk of runway out. So I wasn't going to be able to do that instrument approach. So NOTAMs are incredibly important. Before you take off, it's a way to get situational awareness on what's happening at that airport. NOTAMs also will let you know about temporary flight restrictions. For example, if the president is in the area, you can't fly, or if there's a rocket launch scheduled, or whatever the case may be. Notice to air missions. So it's important. And I just want to be the voice on one thing here. Everybody's going to be getting upset about it. I get that. But this is all to improve safety, right? Like, there's a reason that the airspace system is as safe as it is. NOTAMs play a big part in that. So we can, I'm sure all the politicians are going to get into this frustration of why did the computer system go down and all that. But if you're traveling or you're expecting someone, please be kind to the gate agents and the different, the captains and first officers and all the folks. They don't control computers. They're doing the best they can to make it better, but it's all in safety. So at the end of the day, there's a reason the safety is such a factor. So I want to be just very clear on that. So that's the situation. We're going to check back in on the big board over at Orlando International Airport throughout Coffee Talk as well. But let's move on and just see what's doing. I mean, the weather could not be any prettier. Clear skies, comfortable temperatures, mild sunshine, but it's a chilly one, right? 48 degrees in Orlando right now. It is 41 degrees in the Villages, 37 in Ocala. Yeah. I will also add real fast, a friend of mine, Jeremy Nelson, just landed at the Atlanta airport. And now, Atlanta is one of the busiest airports in the country, right? Like that we know. Let me show you. He just tweeted out. Let me pull it up. Jeremy Nelson just tweeted out that he's at the Atlanta airport and there are no planes on the runway. Right? That's an oddity. All right. So it's a nice chilly start for us. Temperatures definitely cooler than they were yesterday morning, right? 39 in Ocala, 46 in Leesburg, 46 in Kissimmee, 44 degrees in Palm Bay. First warning, live Doppler radar. Fine, showing some interference spikes, which is always fun. Have to go play whack-a-mole on that. But through the day today, the weather continues to look absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. 55, 9 o'clock in the metro area, about 64 degrees. 11 o'clock, 71, 1 p.m., and 74 degrees, 3 p.m. It looks absolutely stunning. So what does our forecast look like around town, huh? 73 today, our high temperature in Ocala. 74 today in Orlando. 71 in Daytona Beach. 73 in Melbourne. No matter where you are in Central Florida, we have wonderful, wonderful weather. Futurecast backing that up, just taking you through the day. No problems. Looking good through 5:30, 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah, we have a really nice quiet stretch of weather. As Manolfi would say, really nice stretch of weather. Really nice stretch of weather. Things are getting warmer, though, looking ahead to tomorrow as a cold front approaches us. That front moves through, bringing showers and then flat-out colder temperatures for our weekend. So looking at kind of the speed bumps ahead, we have showers on Friday, maybe even some thunder showers, and then cold for the weekend. Now, I do want to point out, yesterday, one thing that I noticed is that the global models had started adjusting things. So this, for example, this is 6 a.m. on Friday. GFS and European earlier runs had all the rain all around Central Florida, whereas now you notice 6 a.m., we're just starting to get the rains in. So both models backing up the timing. There's 10 a.m. Rains around. The European looks to be a little faster than the GFS. And then by 2 p.m., notice the European is starting to clear us out, whereas the GFS still has the rain in our area. And if we just go all the way through 7 p.m., at least for Friday evening, both models are showing a clearing condition, right? Even if it's not as fast, we may have some showers around during the day on Friday. At least we're doing better and better and better. Yeah. So timing is not dialed in per se, but the temperatures do seem to be fairly well dialed in. And I love to just look at the temperature comparisons here on our global models. So here's kind of where we're at in terms of our Friday afternoon temperatures, around 70. Both the European and the GFS models pretty much dialed in on that. Let's look at our low temperatures on Saturday morning. All right, so we're talking 43 or so in Orlando. Both models kind of aligned. Some models are showing upper 30s north of town, but generally it's going to be 40s around Central Florida. And my Space Coast friends, this includes you. Now, these are raw models. I'll get to forecast numbers in a moment. All right, on to the afternoon. And notice, if anything, the models look like they're trending a little cooler, right? Like these are what both global models are showing for high temperatures on Saturday. 50s. Now, for perspective, Christmas afternoon, we only made it to 46. So they're trending cooler, but they're not quite getting that cold. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens. All right, that's Saturday afternoon. Let's look at Sunday morning. All right. So this is where the models are a little off. The GFS is going a little milder for Sunday morning. The European is going a little chillier. At the moment, I'm going to think that we're running in the European camp. I'm going to go a little colder in terms of the thought process for Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, we look milder. So when we put everything together, here's a look at kind of our forecast as of right now. Actually, let's do this. Stand by. So let's put it all together. We'll just start Friday afternoon, okay? Here's our Friday afternoon idea. 60s around Central Florida, right? 60s to the lower 70s. It's going to take a little bit of time to clear the rain out. We are not speeding it up. We're rather slowing it down, okay? Saturday morning, it's a big chill. 36 is kind of our forecast. Taking all the computer models into account, looking at the thickness, all these different elements. Okay, 36 in Ocala, 39 in Leesburg, 40 degrees in Orlando. We look to Saturday afternoon. It's going to be cool. 58, may have to dial that down to 50. The models are saying like 52 even. So interesting stuff there. Then we look at Sunday morning. Okay. We're forecasting freezing temperatures in Marion County and near freezing in Wildwood. Into the metro, 40, but we may have to drop that to 39, 38 degrees. The models are not 100% dialed in on this yet, so there's going to be some tweaking we'll have to do. But it's going to be chilly. And then by Sunday afternoon, things will start to rebound nicely. 62 for the Villages, 66 degrees in Orlando, 66 in Melbourne. All right? 62 in Daytona Beach. So that's kind of where we're at for now. Big chill moving in. Let's pop up Central Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast and just kind of watch the setup, okay? So today, beautiful. Tomorrow, warmer. Friday, showers, and it's looking like it's not just a morning deal. It may be an afternoon. It may even be an evening kind of deal. Saturday, Sunday, incredible. Monday, Tuesday, yeah, we may be getting into a nice mild stretch, right? Martin Luther King Jr. Monday, and then Tuesday, great. Just beautiful weather, right? Patty, are these temps normal here in Florida? I've only lived here a year, 4 months. All right, Patty. So bottom of the screen shows normal high is 71, normal low is 49. So we are running a little above average in the afternoons. We're running about where we should be in the mornings. The thing about Florida to remember is that we don't just we're always kind of ebbing and flowing because we've got water on three sides. Our temperatures just want to go up, and as such, it's hard to keep things just status quo, right? So that's kind of where we're at there. Yeah. Connie, so no launch Friday. Grandson is coming. He loves to watch the launches. So I will tell you, and I was hoping for a Friday launch. SpaceX put out no earlier than Saturday. Dang it. Now, SpaceX has not put out their official not SpaceX, but Space Launch Delta 45 has not put out their official launch forecast, but I've started mine, and I will amend to theirs once they put it out. All right, so we're looking at a launch window just before 6 o'clock. This is going to be the Falcon Heavy rocket. It's essentially 3 Falcon 9 strapped to each other. So this is my forecast. We'll wait for the official launch forecast to come out. I'm mentioning this on Coffee Talk. I'm not going to put this on TV yet because this is not an official launch forecast. But I'll tell you, I put mine out. We'll see how close it is. I imagine it's going to be pretty close. Upper level winds would be a bit concerning, but overall, things don't look too bad. All right? But long story long, Connie, there's not going to be a launch on Friday. SpaceX has said in their post yesterday, no earlier than Saturday. Which, if I'm honest, I really would love to take the family to go see it. But here we are. Nicole says, I'll enjoy this weather because soon Swamp Blank is coming. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Everybody loves to complain about everything, but the reality is that, Christmas Day, our high temperature was 46. The day after, we dropped down to 37, and that was the last time we were below 40. So this is going to be the coolest air we've seen in, a couple weeks. Not the coldest of the season, but the coolest air we've seen in a couple weeks. All right, so we've got when you look at the next couple of days, we're going to get to nearly 80 degrees on Thursday for a high temperature, and then our high temperature drops into the 50s on Saturday. So there is definitely a nice transition coming. Connie says, that's okay. He'll be here Saturday too. Perfect. Saturday dinner time around 6 o'clock. And remember, it's not just the launch, because with Falcon Heavy, you've got 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. All right? 1, 2, 3. So the outer 2 are going to come back and land at landing zone 1, which is actually this picture here, is the 2 outer cores. The center core is going to be expended and essentially burn up in the atmosphere. So, so we do have the sonic boom situation happening. So if it launches, if the launch happens around 5:55, so you're talking about 6:03 sonic booms. And by then we'll have a bit of a northwesterly wind, so it won't make it into the metro. But if you live especially around the Kennedy Space Center down to about Patrick, Merritt Island area, Brevard County specifically because of the winds, you're going to hear sonic booms. All right? Yeah, wind direction's really not going to allow it to move into the metro. Yeah. So, and this is a top secret payload for the Space Force. So we won't even get much trajectory on the rocket once it lifts off. Oh well. Now we are at 72 delayed flights as that ground stop continues. I just want to make sure that I haven't missed any additional update. Okay, no additional updates. That's good. That's good. Just making sure. Stand by 1 second here. Julie, what happened with the FAA ground stop? What's the ground stop for? I missed that. So we talked about it off the top of Coffee Talk, but essentially it is the Notice to Airmen system. And it's funny, I was like, well, maybe I'll pull up a Nodem to show everybody. But then it occurred to me, it's like, oh, the system's down. Oh, well, so I can't do that. Chris is asking, has this FAA problem ever happened before? I learned to fly 2010, 2011. 2010, 2011 is when I learned to fly. So I've been following aviation world very closely since 2009, 2010. And I cannot recall a situation like this where Nodems have gone down. I'm trying to see if I can pull up just some sort of a Nodem just to show you guys. I would love to pull it up, but I don't know that it will have. I'm trying, but interestingly enough, this is what I'm getting when I'm trying to pull up the Nodem. So it's almost It's almost like there's a Nodem down issue. But what this says to me is it's 821 and there are no Nodems available. I'm trying to pull up the Nodems for Orlando International Airport. Oh, I'm getting something. You get the idea. The system is still down. So with the system down, you can't find out things like, let me just, all right, I got in, Nodem search. It did let me in. So at least, due to system processing delays, recently entered Nodems may not be displayed. And I think that's the concern, is that Nodem search loading, please wait. Yeah. This does not usually happen. So you get the idea. You get the idea. Let me just look up like sample Nodem just to show you. Sample Nodem message. Okay. So this is, I'm just Googling this from Think Aviation. Yeah. Yeah. So it's text, and it gives you like times. It gives you like in this case, if you're approaching on the Moxie 6 arrival, which is a pre-published arrival into like Orlando International Airport, has all kinds of standard departures and standard arrivals and things like that. So it's just trying to let you know, like for example, this is a Nodem that essentially, let me pull this out, on a standard arrival here. All right, if you're approaching to Portland or the Moxie 6 arrival, you're going to cross the VANTZ intersection at 250 knots indicated airspeed or less. So what they're doing is it's just making modifications. That's all it is. They're just making little modifications to things. This, by the way, is my Nodem screen right now. System of a Down. Love that band. So angry, but so melodic. Anyway, so that's where we're at. Janice is asking, could the system have been hacked? I mean, I'm a local television meteorologist. I'm not a government superhero in that realm, so I have no idea. But we're going along together on a journey. I just tried to get the Nodems for Orlando International Airport, and you can see it's still processing. And it's text. There's no images. So the system is obviously still down. There you go. So that's where we're at. But hey, we're doing this together. We're doing this together to see. Elliot says, time to upgrade the system from the 1950s. Listen, there was a major update to the National Airspace System around the 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 time frame. They went to this next-gen system. So all in all, they have been updating the system. Yeah. Becca, they said no hacks, inbound flights can land, but no one can take off. Well, right, because the Nodems are given, you check your Nodems in your briefing before you depart. So people aren't departing. Okay, I got somewhere. Location, but it's not letting me type in the location. So it's obviously not working still. So there you go. Now up to 81 delayed flights and 8 cancellations. So it's a mess. It's a mess. If you're traveling, a couple of please be nice. Please understand that this is a computer issue and that the pilot or the gate agent that you're talking to, those types of things, just be a genuine. When hiring someone in the television world, you always look for what we call a good newsroom citizen. But we're all planetary citizens, so let's just be good people. Who'd have thunk that's a thing, right? Brent, the most fun noticed airman I've ever encountered was an Air Force One visit to my area during a planned flight. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I can recall flying in Palm Beach and checking my Nodems, seeing that Air Force One was exit, like TFR was up for an area, so I couldn't go fly, and I had to call because I had watched I worked in West Palm for a bit, and so I watched on my station, Air Force One left. And the Nodem had the airspace still under a TFR for X number of, the airspace was super quiet. Air Force One had left like 20 minutes before, and I remember checking my Nodems, and it's like, oh, temporary flight restriction, can't fly here. And I remember calling and being like, hey guys, I know that Nodem says that the airspace is closed, but Air Force One's already gone. And they're like, oh, yeah, we need to update the Nodem. And it's like, okay. And what's your name? Your name is Tom? Okay, like writing it down so that way if I get intercepted by F-16s, it's like, but I called, So Nodems are very important to the overall airspace system. Yeah. Ugh. What a mess. Did it ever come up? Oh, it went back to this. Yeah. I understand. Still trying to get a Nodem for Orlando International Airport. All right. You get the idea, though. It's still not... Oh, look at that. All right. MCO. Are we up? FAA Nodem search. Please wait. I'll wait. It's processing. Nodem processing is impaired, and newly processed Nodems are not being displayed. You can't see that, but that's on the top of the screen there. Well, that's, I think, what the FAA's concern is. Okay, so here we are. So here's the Orlando International Airport Nodem, all right? Permanent. On airport, see construction graphic. All right. So, yeah. So this kind of just gives you an idea. These are the Nodems of the airport. Apron closed, ramp, a lot of construction. This one, for example, navigation, ILS runway 17 left, Cat 2 approach, not available. So if you were expecting, if the weather's bad and you were expecting a Cat 2 approach, Category 1, 2, and 3 being the level of minimums, and your aircraft has to be equipped for that. But you get the idea. Pappies are down, and it went away. So obviously, we're still having some issues there. So anyway, that's exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem. So that's where we're at, my friends. It's a mess in the national airspace system. All right. So that's that. Delays will continue. In the meantime, at least the weather's nice, right? Like for all of us to go out and enjoy, the weather is lovely. Oh, see, only your brain would work that way. Nodem backwards is Maton, which means may anyone traveling a certain niceness. I like that. All right, so beautiful weather next couple of days. Look for some showers on Friday through the day, and then clearing out and cooling down for our Saturday and our Sunday. All right. That's it. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you today on Wesh 2 News at noon and at 4, and our afternoon coffee talk. We will do that. What do you think? 3:30? We do it during the week at 3:30, right? Very good. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. If traveling, be nice, okay? Bye, guys.